Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Amplid Cab Driver. This board features Amplid's twin cruise camber, which is just cam rocker, so you get rocker in the nose and the tail, camber through the middle of the board. That camber section is going to give you all the load, pop, snap, and drive, while that rocker in the tips is going to give you more optimal powder float as well as ease of entry in and out of turns. This board's available in 144, 149, 152, 155, and 158. I rode this board at Copper Mountain on a sunny bluebird day, 0 winds, warmer temps. You had slush, chop, chunder, hero snow, basically every type of spring-like condition, and I rode it with my Rome Black Label bindings and my K2 Thraxis boots. The overall flex of this board comes in just below a middle of the road. You got more play in the nose and the tail, that's accentuated by the rocker, stiffer underfoot, and then dead center, it gets softer again, and that matches the torsional flex, which is highly abundant. When it comes to stability, if you keep your knees bent, you're gonna do okay. But by and large, that rocker in the tips, with it being softer, it resonates back underfoot and you really do feel it. When you get into rutted out terrain, you can get bucked around if you're not keeping your knees bent. So be aware of what type of terrain you're actually riding. If you're staying cognizant of it, you shouldn't have any issues, but if you're not, well, you're going ass over tea kettle. The load of this board is very easy to engage, but the rebound isn't reactive, which just means it's not the snappiest thing out there. It's easy to engage and you're gonna be able to pop a side hit, no problem with it. But if you're looking to boost, there's other boards out there. When it comes to jumps, it's just like any other park board. The more you put in going off the lip, the higher and further you're gonna go. If you're laid back, it's still got a little bit of snap to it, but not enough to be overly mind-blowing. By and large, I'd say keep it to the small and medium jumps. Occasionally, maybe you could take it to the big line, but you gotta know what you're doing when you hit that. That softer flex gives this board a bit of an advantage when you butter and jib with it. With butters, you've got that rocker in the nose and the tail. That's the sweet spot you want to press into. And when you do, it holds and just feels locked in. And then when you go to disengage it, you get a little bit of snap to pop a 180 out or just pop back. You don't have to worry about getting sideways with this board, playing around, swizzling and sizzling. It does what you need to do. The nice thing is when you're jibbing, those sweet spots really do lock in and hold to the end of the feature, and then you're able to spring out of it. When you go sideways, that camber section really cradles around the feature and it just feels absolutely secure. You feel locked in on it, but not so much that you're like, oh, I'm gonna die. It's more like, hey, this is perfect, this is what I want. And when you go to disengage, you don't have an issue with it. This board has a smooth and fluid edge-to-edge power transmission. You can really steer it underfoot. You don't have to worry about it. Short, tight, quick carves and medium mellow carves are its strong suit. Anything more, you don't really have the power in the tail to drive the board as aggressively, so it does start to kick out. You just gotta be aware of it. I mean, it's a twin park board. I mean, what more do you actually want from it in that regard? It can do park carves, but if you're trying to lay down huge trenches, not really gonna happen. It's got the right amount of edge hold just to set up as you go into a feature, but not so much that you're like, oh yeah, I'm locked in and I'm gonna die. It's more like, oh yeah, hey, I turned, cool. Who's this board for? The price-conscious park rider. So at the end of the day, it's just another snowboard that does snowboard things. It's a jib stick with a little bit of snap. It's not mind-blowing. It's not the worst thing I've been on. It's just a consistent snowboard that'll do what you need it to do. And for what they're going for, it works. Am I over here like, woo, this is the greatest thing ever? No, I'm like, yeah, it's just another snowboard. I've ridden others like it, and that's kind of where it stands. It's just a middle-of-the-pack snowboard. Comparable boards: the Rome Artifact, the Jones Tweaker, the K2 Geometric. Binding recommendations: the Rome Vice, the Union Ultra, the Solomon Rhythm. This has been my review of the Amplid Cab Driver. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you own one? Are you gonna buy one? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this snowboard. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here and you wanna support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.